Welcome back to the Coin Studio. This 50-cent coin sold for over $120,000 at auction, and people are still finding them in circulation. Are you holding one right now? First up, the 1969 Australian 50-cent coin holds a unique place in the evolution of Australian decimal currency. Minted only 3 years after the introduction of the decimal system. In 1966, this coin represents an era of experimentation and economic transition. Struck in copper-nickel after the public confusion and hoarding of the 1966 round silver 50-cent coins. The 1969 version adopted a 12-sided, dodecagonal shape that has remained iconic ever since. The obverse features a youthful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Meshon. It captures the grace and formality of the monarchy during a time when Australia was defining its identity within the Commonwealth. The words Elizabeth II Australia, 1969 are inscribed around her image, a subtle but powerful reminder of the nation's connection to its British heritage. Flip the coin, and you're met with the full Australian coat of arms. The kangaroo and emu, too, animals known for not walking backward, stand proudly on either side of the Commonwealth shield. The design by Stuart Devlin is packed with symbolism. The kangaroo and emu represent forward movement, while the shield showcases the 6 states of Australia in intricate heraldic detail. Above them sits a 7-pointed Federation star, tying the composition together in a striking and meaningful way. In circulated condition, the 1969 50-cent coin is relatively common, as over 14 million pieces were minted. However, collectors seek out coins in extremely fine or uncirculated condition, where the fine detail of Devlin's work is preserved in its full glory. These higher-grade specimens can fetch $1,000 to $2,000 in the current market. But when the coin appears in pristine mint state, graded, MS65 or higher by professional coin grading services, it becomes far more valuable. At auction, some superb uncirculated examples have sold for over $120,000, especially when encapsulated and certified by PCGS or NGC, making it a modest yet respected collector's item in Australian numismatics. Number 2. The 2005 Australian 50-cent coin is more than just currency. It's a solemn tribute to the heroes of World War II and a nation's deep respect for its military history. Released as part of the commemorative coin program, this issue marked the 60th anniversary of the end of World War II, a war that reshaped the globe and Australia's role in it. The obverse side of the coin continues. The tradition of featuring Queen Elizabeth II, once again designed by Ian Rank Broadley. By 2005, this portrait had become a familiar representation of the Queen in her more mature years, and it exudes a sense of endurance and dignity, echoing the themes of resilience found on the reverse. The reverse side is where this coin becomes a powerful historical artifact. Designed by Vladimir Gottwald, it depicts a deeply emotional scene. A lone soldier in silhouette stands solemnly before a field of graves, marked by simple white crosses. Around him are faint outlines of figures, representing both soldiers and civilians, an homage to all who served and suffered, not just on the battlefield but on the home front too. The design is minimal yet hauntingly effective. At the base, the words World War 1939-1945 anchor the piece with stark gravity, reminding us of the cost of freedom. Although more than 26 million of these coins were struck for circulation, which makes them relatively easy to find in everyday change, their historical importance and evocative design have earned them a firm spot in the hearts of collectors. In circulated condition, the coin typically sells for $100 to $200. However, uncirculated and proof versions, especially those housed in official Royal Australian Mint presentation folders, command much higher premiums. High-grade examples in mint state condition, particularly MS66 and above, have reached auction prices between $4,500 and $5,500, depending on quality and grading certification. Limited edition collector's sets in silver proofs featuring this design have sold for even more, with some specimens fetching $1,900 to $2,500 at major coin auctions. For many, owning this coin is less about rarity and more about remembrance, a piece of national identity, struck in metal. Number 3. The year 2000 was an important one for Australia, marking both a new millennium and a significant royal visit by Queen Elizabeth. To honor the occasion, the Royal Australian Mint issued a special 50-cent coin that commemorates the monarch, his presence and enduring legacy in Australia. This coin, though sometimes overlooked by casual collectors, is an elegant and meaningful piece in the world of commemorative currency. The obverse side bears the Ian Rank Broadley portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, a familiar image that carries with it decades of royal symbolism and national identity. Her presence on the obverse isn't just tradition, it's a reminder of Australia's status as a constitutional monarchy and its historical ties to Britain. On the reverse side, the coin truly shines. The design features a combination of elements that celebrate the monarchy and Australian identity. Crossed wattle branches frame the design, Australia's national floral emblem, symbolizing unity and resilience. Above them is a stylized representation of the Australian flag, with the Union Jack and Southern Cross clearly visible, topped with a crown symbolizing the Queen herself. The overall composition is regal but grounded, patriotic yet inclusive. It marks the 2000 royal visit with both elegance and subtlety. Only 2.4 million of these coins were minted, making them considerably rarer than many other commemorative 50-cent pieces. That relatively low mintage, coupled with the cultural significance of the event it honors, has made it a desirable piece among both novice and seasoned collectors. In circulated condition, these coins often sell for $300 to $600, depending on wear and clarity. Uncirculated examples, however, fetch significantly higher values. In particular, coins in mint rolls or pulled directly from freshly issued collector's packs can range between $25,000 to $26,000. And at auction, high-grade specimens, especially those graded MS-66 or above by professional services, have achieved prices upwards of $35,000, especially when housed in protective holders and certified as genuine. The 2000 Royal Visit 50-cent coin stands as a fusion of numismatic craftsmanship and national pride. For collectors who appreciate both design and story, this piece offers the best of both worlds, a dignified reminder of a royal tradition and a snapshot of Australia at the dawn of a new century. Number 4. The 2018 Australian 50-cent coin titled United is a stirring example of how modern coinage can reflect timeless values. Issued as part of the Royal Australian Mint's commemorative series, this coin stands as a tribute to the power of unity, mateship, and reconciliation, values deeply ingrained in Australia's national character, especially in the context of its military history. On the obverse, the coin features the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II by Ian Rank Broadley, an image that had become standard across Australian coinage by the early 2000s. Her profile is dignified, composed, and regal, offering a continuity that links this modern issue with a long tradition of monarchy and Commonwealth coinage. The reverse, however, is where the message of this coin truly comes alive. Designed to commemorate peace and camaraderie, it portrays two soldiers shaking hands, a visual that needs no explanation. One soldier wears a slouch hat, the iconic headgear of Australian diggers, while the other dons a different uniform, reflecting the diversity and joint efforts of Allied forces. Behind them, a spray of wattle branches, the national floral emblem frames the moment with a distinctly Australian touch. At the base, the bold inscription United carries the entire message in a single, powerful word. This coin was not just another addition to the series, it was a timely reminder of the values that hold a nation together, especially in a world often marked by division and conflict. The mintage was relatively limited, with only 2 million coins released into circulation, adding to its appeal among both collectors and those who encountered it in everyday change. While the coin remains readily accessible in circulated form and typically sells for $100 to $300, its value increases substantially in uncirculated or proof condition. Collector's editions packaged by the Royal Australian Mint and certified by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC have fetched anywhere from $13,000 to $16,500 at auction, especially in pristine MS-67 or MS-68 grades. These coins serve not only as pieces of currency, but as powerful symbols of human connection and shared purpose, a story of unity captured in nickel and copper. Number 5. The 2006 Australian 50-cent coin is a masterful celebration of aviation history, commemorating the 75th anniversary of the Royal Australian Air Force RAAF, a proud and vital branch of Australia's defence forces. This coin is both a tribute to the legacy of the RAAF and a visually captivating work of numismatic art. As is traditional with Australian coins, the obverse side features Queen Elizabeth II. This version, designed by Ian Rank Broadley, portrays the Queen in her later years, and it adds a sense of continuity to the coin's historical narrative. The inscription around her image reads, Elizabeth Dickin, Australia 2006. Grounding the coin firmly in its national and chronological context. But it's the reverse side where this coin earns its place as one of the most intricately designed 50-cent pieces of its decade. The design features a stylized globe, showcasing the Australian continent in relief with curved flight paths arcing across the surface. These lines evoke both modern and historical aviation routes, subtly referencing the RAAF's global reach and operational capabilities over its 75-year history. Encircling the globe is a border of alternating crowns and wattle, the former signifying royal endorsement and the latter anchoring the design in Australia's unique national flora. This is not merely a commemorative token. It's a work of storytelling. Every detail, from the gentle arcs of flight paths to the symbolic crown and wattle border, speaks to Australia's role in global defense, reconnaissance, peacekeeping, and humanitarian missions. Approximately 11.4 million of these coins were minted, making them relatively common in circulation. Nonetheless, the design's elegance and historical importance have made it a favorite among military enthusiasts and modern commemorative coin collectors. In circulated condition, values typically hover between $50 and $100, depending on quality. However, uncirculated examples, particularly those stored in mint-issued coin, cards, or collector packs, can reach prices of $1,250 a raise to $1,400. Certified coins graded MS-66 and above have gone under the hammer at auctions for as much as $1,700, particularly if they remain in impeccable condition and retain original mint luster. More than a piece of metal, the 2006 RAAF 75th anniversary coin is a salute to courage in the skies and the men and women who've kept watch over Australia from above. Number 6. The 2014 Australian 50-cent coin might at first glance appear like any regular issue due to its classic reverse design, but it remains a notable part of the ongoing tradition of Australia's distinctive coinage. Struck in the regular circulation series, this coin showcases timeless motifs and precision minting that collectors have come to appreciate even in standard annual issues. On the obverse, as with many Australian coins of the 21st century, we find the mature effigy of Queen Elizabeth II by Ian Rank Broadley. The portrait is realistic, respectful, and authoritative, embodying the continued connection between the monarchy and Australia's national identity. The reverse of the coin features the Australian coat of arms, a striking and enduring image that has adorned the 50-cent denomination since the early 1970s. This design by Stuart Devlin remains one of the most detailed and heraldically rich designs in Australian numismatics. At the center lies the Commonwealth Shield, divided into 6 sections to represent each state of the Federation: New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, South Australia, Western Australia, and Tasmania. Supporting the shield are the iconic kangaroo and emu, animals chosen not just for their Australian origins but for their symbolic meaning. Neither can walk backward, embodying national progress and forward momentum. Above the shield rests a 7-pointed Commonwealth star, while the background is filled with intricate floral elements. The denomination 50 is clearly and boldly displayed at the base. While this particular year did not introduce a new commemorative theme or design, it nonetheless upholds the tradition of well-crafted and meaningful Australian coinage. In terms of mintage, the 2014 issue had a relatively low run compared to some other years, with just 2.88 million coins released into circulation. That low mintage makes this coin more collectible than one might assume at first glance. Circulated examples sell for $100 to $250, depending on condition and clarity. However, uncirculated coins, especially those pulled straight from mint rolls or part of collectors' sets, can sell for $2,500 to $2,500 at auction. Certified coins graded MS-66 or higher have occasionally reached up to $15,000, particularly if the coin displays sharp strike detail and strong mint luster. Though it doesn't commemorate an event or individual, the 2014 50-cent coin is a proud continuation of Australia's numismatic heritage, a symbol of national identity, unity, and the enduring relevance of traditional design in a modern age. Number 7. The 2001 Australian 50-cent coin with the standard coat of arms. Design is a familiar sight for anyone who's handled Australian change, but its significance shouldn't be underestimated. Struck as part of the regular circulating coinage, This piece is a continuation of a proud tradition that has helped define the aesthetic of Australian currency for decades. On the obverse side, we see Queen Elizabeth II, depicted in her more mature years by sculptor Ian Rank Broadley. This effigy, introduced in 1999, captures a regal yet human portrayal of the Queen, symbolizing strength and continuity throughout the Commonwealth. The inscription around her reads, Elizabeth II, Australia 2001, anchoring the coin in both time and tradition. The reverse side features one of the most iconic coin designs in the country, the Australian coat of arms. First introduced in 1970 by master designer Stuart Devlin, this image includes the national shield divided into 6 sections, each representing one of Australia's states. Supporting the shield are a kangaroo and an emu, 2 native animals that were chosen because they are physically incapable of walking backward, symbolizing progress. Above the shield is the 7-pointed Federation star, and surrounding the entire emblem is intricate detailing that showcases Devlin's eye for texture and complexity. In terms of mintage, the 2001 issue was quite substantial, with over 17.8 million coins released into circulation. While this makes it relatively common, it remains highly collectible when found in pristine, uncirculated condition, particularly those pulled from mint rolls or sets. In circulated grades, the coin is typically worth $100 to $200, depending on the level of wear. However, when found in mint state condition, values climb sharply. Coins graded MS65 or higher by reputable grading services, like PCGS or NGC, can command auction prices between $23,400 and $25,500, especially if they exhibit sharp strikes and original luster. These pieces are sought after not because they are rare in circulation, but because truly flawless examples are challenging to find due to the high volume and rough handling during everyday use. For collectors who value design, tradition, and national symbolism, the 2001 Australian 50 cent with the coat of arms remains a cornerstone of any modern Australian coin collection. Number 8. The 1995 Australian 50 cent coin commemorating Sir Edward Weary Dunlop is far more than just metal. It is a national tribute to a legendary figure in Australian history. A surgeon, soldier, and prisoner of war, Dunlop became a symbol of courage, compassion, and resilience during some of the darkest moments of World War II. The obverse of the coin features Queen Elizabeth II in the classic Raphael Makhlouf portrait used throughout the late 1980s and early 1990s. Her effigy appears dignified and regal, a consistent hallmark of stability across decades of Australian currency. But the heart of this coin lies on its reverse. Designed with reverence and historical depth, the reverse depicts a bust of Sir Edward Weary Dunlop, framed by strands of barbed wire. The image is haunting, a deliberate evocation of his time as a prisoner of war in Japanese camps during the construction of the infamous Thai-Burma Railway between 1942 and 1945. Despite unbearable conditions, Dunlop provided life-saving medical care to fellow prisoners, earning undying respect and admiration both in Australia and internationally. The barbed wire symbolizes captivity and suffering, yet Dunlop's calm expression on the coin evokes resilience and humanity. His nickname, Weary, is proudly included, a nod to the man who became a national legend, not just for his wartime efforts, but for his lifelong contributions to medicine and reconciliation. The coin had a circulating mintage of approximately 15.9 million germ, making it widely available during its time. However, its emotional and historical weight has ensured strong collector interest, particularly among military history enthusiasts and those with personal or family ties to WWII. Circulated examples sell in the $200 to $500 range, but uncirculated coins and mint condition pieces are significantly more valuable. In official Royal Australian Mint presentation packs or coin cards, these pieces have been sold for $2,500 to $24,500. Graded examples in MS66 or above have appeared at auction for $27,700 to $29,550, especially when presented with supporting historical literature or provenance. This coin is not just a collectible, it's a living memory of sacrifice, healing, and humanity in the face of suffering. To own it is to hold a piece of Australia's soul in your hand. Number 9. The 2001 Australian 50 cent coin featuring the Year of the Scout design celebrates the centenary of one of the world's most influential youth movements, Scouting. Founded in 1907 by Lord Robert Baden-Powell in England, the Scouting movement grew rapidly across the globe, inspiring young people to develop leadership skills, outdoor survival capabilities, and a sense of community service. On the obverse, we again find the familiar effigy of Queen Elizabeth II by Ian Rank Broadley. Aged and composed, her depiction represents the Crown's enduring connection to Australian culture and civic traditions, including those like Scouting, which emphasize duty and service. The reverse side is a beautifully symbolic composition. At the center is the universal emblem of the Scout movement, an abstract fleur-de-lis design, modified slightly to include the Southern Cross constellation, giving it a uniquely Australian identity. Surrounding this emblem are silhouettes of Scouts, engaged in outdoor activity and teamwork, figures holding hands, climbing and exploring. These are more than mere decorations. They represent the core values of unity, courage, and outdoor spirit that define Scouting. Encircling the design are 8 5-pointed stars, again referencing the Southern Cross, which appears on the Australian flag. At the bottom is the denomination 50 cents, written in full, making the design visually distinct from the usual numerical representation. With a mintage of 4 million, the 2001 Year of the Scout coin sits in a mid-range category of scarcity. It's not rare, but it's not overly common either, meaning collectors often need to search a little harder to find well-preserved examples. In general circulation, this coin commands $200 to $400, though condition heavily influences value. Uncirculated examples are regularly sold in commemorative folders or coin packs for $8,000 to $9,000, while professionally graded mint state examples, MS66 or better, have reached auction prices between $16,200 and $19,800, depending on eye appeal, strike quality, and certification status. For many, this coin represents more than money or metal. It's a reminder of childhood, adventure, and the timeless values of integrity, courage, and friendship that Scouting continues to promote in communities across Australia and the world. Number 10. The 2008 Australian 50-cent coin commemorating the Year of the Scout is a shining example of how modern numismatics can celebrate community, character building, and the timeless values passed on through generations. This coin continues the tribute that began with the 2007 release, honoring 100 years of the global Scouting movement, and specifically recognizes Scouting in Australia, where the program has been shaping young lives since 1908. The obverse side features the well-known effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, created by sculptor Ian Rank Broadley. This portrait, used across Commonwealth coinage during the early 21st century, presents the Queen in a refined, realistic profile with a look of serene authority. Around her image are the inscriptions Elizabeth II, Australia, and the year of minting, 2008, each carefully engraved in raised lettering. The obverse represents the enduring link between Australia and the Crown, even as the country grows more independent in identity and civic tradition. But it's the reverse side of the coin where the true narrative unfolds. A stylized Scouting emblem takes center stage, an updated fleur-de-lis that integrates stars from the Southern Cross constellation to reflect Australia's unique place within the global movement. Surrounding the emblem are silhouetted figures of Scouts engaging in symbolic acts of unity, activity, and exploration. Some are shown walking in line, some raising their hands in salute, and others appear to be climbing, each figure symbolizing core values of Scouting such as trust, courage, community, and adventure. Unlike the 2007 version, which had a modest mintage, the 2008 issue had a lower mintage still, just over 3.4 million. Coins were struck for general circulation, making it increasingly desirable among both thematic and general collectors. It's especially appealing for those collecting Scouting memorabilia or Australian, modern commemorative issues. In circulated condition, the coin can be found occasionally in pocket change but clean, lightly used examples already command a premium in online marketplaces and coin shops. These circulated coins typically sell for $200 to $400, depending on quality. However, in uncirculated or mint state condition, especially when preserved in coin albums, mint rolls, or original Royal Australian Mint cards, this coin becomes far more valuable. Uncirculated examples consistently sell for $25,400 to $26,400 with proof versions, and those professionally graded at MS66 or higher reaching auction prices of $36,000 to $38,500, especially if the coin exhibits flawless luster, sharp strike, and no contact marks. Think these coins were impressive? Wait till you see the rare Australian coins that have sold for thousands at auction. Some even found in everyday change. Don't miss it. Your next great discovery could be just one coin away. Click now to explore more hidden gems. Thanks for watching and happy collecting.